Good afternoon and welcome to another live edition of the Dream Wager. We are here on this Feel Good Friday, July 23rd, 2021. Alongside me, we got our NBA guru, Elvis. How you doing, man?
Great, man. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. How's your week been?
Great. Honestly, a 4-day hot streak. Can't complain.
Not a boy staying hot.
Finals ended lovely.
And now you're getting hot in baseball?
Heating up in baseball.
Wow.
Overall, you want to hear my overall record? Shockingly, 40 and 21 so far.
Wow.
And one.
Shout out you. You get heating up in baseball.
Heating up.
That might be your best sport.
No.
and joining us from sunny South Carolina, the legend, Joey D. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, great to be accompanied by you too. And I'm also on a kind of a hot streak. Lost it when I went down a game about under 500. But hey, man, we seem to be all heating up here. I like it.
Absolutely. Yesterday went 6-0. I think that was probably one of my best days so far. I'm up 9 units on the week. I hit a parlay yesterday plus 532. I took the Braves first 5 money line. I took the Cardinals first 5 money line and the under between the Athletics and Seattle cashed. So that's good. The boys are on fire. I like that.
Especially on the diamond.
Oh, that's the only thing we really could bet. That and fight. The
Olympics.
I do want to start by congratulating the Milwaukee Bucks, their fans, the entire state of Wisconsin on just a great season. Their first championship since 1971 and becoming the only team in NBA history to overcome 2 0-2 starts to a series and wind up winning the title. They went down 0-2 to your Nets in the Eastern semis and then started 0-2 in the NBA Finals. It was just a great job overcoming adversity from the whole squad. It was an unbelievable performance. Like you said, Giannis dropping a 50-burger in a closeout game and shooting 17 of 19 from the charity stripe. So I think if Giannis has his normal night at the line, we're probably talking about a game 7 happening. So I think, but it was just a remarkable on both ends of the court. He's racking up the hardware now. He has an NBA title, a finals MVP, 2 MVPs, a most improved player, and a defensive player of the year. Elvis, after winning a title and a finals MVP and all the accolades that I just mentioned, is Giannis the top 20, 25 player of all time?
Yeah, already. Think about it. He's on a small list. Him, Michael Jordan, and Hakeem Olajuwon are the only players to have a finals MVP, NBA championship, defensive player of the year, and an MVP.
Wow.
It's only those 3 in the room.
That's it.
That right there makes him a top 25 player. And then what he did game 6, arguably, I'm not going to say because I ain't witnessed Magic Johnson, score 42. I ain't witnessed Michael Jordan score 45 against the Jazz. I was born, but I ain't witnessed it.
Yeah, see it.
I seen LeBron triple doubles game 7s. But what we witnessed on Tuesday night,
wow,
Dylan, that's arguably the greatest closeout game of all time.
What?
That's a 50
burger.
50, 14, and 5. And he averaged 6 assists for the series. Chill. That's Shaq is.
That's all time.
That's the closest thing we've seen to Shaq. 50, 14, and 5 blocks.
Joe, what did you think about his closeout game, Giannis and the Bucks?
Yeah, I'm glad you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say he's one of the 3 players to ever do that. And, man, it just goes to his greatness. Now, the only thing that I could say and be like a contrarian to the whole thing is, like, we always get caught up in the moment. You know, it's a case of what have you done for me lately? And the only thing I could say, kind of going hand with your team, Elvis, the Nets, is that when he was facing against KD, man, KD actually was showing him up. Now, that's where people in the argument could say who's the best player on the planet right now. And obviously you got to throw LeBron in the mix. But man, KD was putting the brakes on all that. So right now, I think Giannis has proven that at all time. He definitely can be in the conversation now. But I like to go on the contrary and say, hey, though as you've done for me lately, he won the MVP championship. I think KD still might be the best player on the planet because he was showing him up in that matchup. So, like I said, now Giannis is in the argument of being a top 25 player all time. But as of right now, I still think there's a debate to be had.
What do you think? Do you think
if KD brings the gold home, I don't know. I might have to side with Joey.
That's right.
What? So you value a gold medal more than an NBA championship?
Did I say that, people?
No, yeah.
People, did I say that, Joey? Did I say that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying if he brings the gold home, I might have to side with Joey because at the end of the day, that's my people now.
I want to shoot out a hypothetical. If no injuries were occurring, and
we win in 4,
Sweep?
possibly 5. Yeah. Kyrie, we was up 2-0 in the second quarter, up 11 points, and then Giannis. I'm not gonna say cheap blow because I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
All you needed was one more of the guys healthy.
He just didn't. Giannis didn't have to do that. That was an easy layup. He didn't have to box him out. And then look, tragedy.
Yeah, I think Vegas agrees with you as well because they updated the NBA final odds for next year, and the Nets are the clear favorite.
Plus 300.
Second is the Lakers, and third are the Clippers, followed by fourth Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I understand why the Clippers are third, especially Kawhi still up in the air. Will Kawhi sign back, especially after the Clippers misdiagnosed his torn?
You know what Ice Cube said about the Clippers? He's like, they should just do away with the Clippers. Entirely.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's a big Kobe fan.
There you go.
I think that according to Vegas, if all teams were healthy, like you said, maybe Bucks win a game, but I thought the Nets were clearly the better team if they were healthy. And even if they did beat the Nets and the Lakers or the Clippers got to the finals, they played the Suns. No disrespect to the Suns, but if the Lakers or Clippers were healthy and they got there, there's no way that the Bucks are going to beat them, in my opinion. So
especially, Lakers and Clippers. Yeah, agree with that.
And I loved what Giannis said post-game, his speech about not joining a super team. I thought it was kind of shots at everyone else.
It was kind of – I think
even
it was
fans.
Shots that started.
Yeah, they were like, you did it the hard way.
Yeah, doing it the hard way, building something, sticking it out. I thought it was, like I said, definitely a message to some players in the NBA. That's what people want to see. And I think you're right, Elvis. He might be the face of the league now. And is that a good thing for the NBA?
I'm gonna be honest, it has to be. It brings more of a global audience into the sport. Because here, NBA already got America. We're gonna tune in.
Yeah.
We're tuning in no matter what. But now you got people from Greece, you got people from Europe, you got more people, you got
Africa's on the rise, bro. Their basketball
farm system. Like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we had scrubs playing against the Dream Team. Now we have decent competition.
Nigeria beating USA by 20.
Yeah, like that wasn't happening 30 years ago. So the rest of the world is caught up. So it's better competition out there. There's more eyes in the sport. So yes, it is better for the NBA because it shows a kid from the slums in a third world country, hey, I can make it out. I could be the next Giannis. So
and doing it the hard way.
Yeah.
and doing it the hard way.
Dead ass though.
That's
true. And he's such a likable guy.
He's so humble. That's really what it is. He's humble, bro. It's not like he's trying to front, be somebody, trying to do something for clout. Bro,
and I think that's why
he's
you
saw
so
the
relatable.
Video when he was at Chick-fil-A, he asked the young lady,
Can I
record you? Yes or no? Like he didn't just do it, he asked first. You don't
Most people would just do it.
He should shout out to his parents.
They raised a good kid.
That's right. And behind like closed doors and stuff, like obviously he was doing it for himself. He was doing it for his family. He was doing it for the team around him. But also, we always talked about the concern about the hot seat Mike Budenholzer has on his job security. I know for a fact Giannis sat down with him. He's like, Coach, I'm going to do this for you. And the fact that he did it, Mike Budenholzer's job saved. He's not leaving Milwaukee.
He's saved.
He's about to get a max.
He might get an extension, to be honest.
There you go.
Giannis about to make a video, call him next year, calling him Easy Money.
Easy Money, Budenholzer, baby.
Some type of money.
But Giannis single-handedly, obviously, like I said, the team involved, but Giannis, he he put everything on his back, put the team on his back, wholeheartedly. Franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. How did your guys' last bets go in the last game?
Told you Jay Crowder over.
Yeah, a hit.
Yeah,
There you go.
points and rebounds. I forgot to do it on my action app, but I ended up sneaking it in. But overall, I had Bucks money line and minus the points.
Yeah.
Nice. I went 2-0 as well. Booker Holiday put him on clamps, especially on the road, under 31.5 cash, and the full game went under as well. That's what tends to happen. I feel like when the Bucks are in sync, they're playing good defense, scoring buckets, the pace of the game slows down a lot, and the under 221.5 hit. How did you do,
That was smart.
Joe?
Yeah, no, I took the over. I thought we'd have rather a high scoring, competitive, maybe fast paced game. It was close to that, but the over was not close. So I missed on that. But hey, the points I took, Milwaukee minus the 5, that was a lock.
Nice. Well, how many more days do we have to the NBA?
I'm
like
gonna
100.
guess. I'm gonna
Plus.
guess 120.
Yeah, but
127.
college basketball, my forte. I'll be back soon. We could even bet on the Olympics in the USA.
Yeah.
They're playing France.
Plus the points, France.
Oh, they're plus 12.5. I think they're a live dog. They could beat them.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got Fournier, Nicholas Batum.
Oh, France is a good squad. Wow.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
squad. Yeah.
But we'll dive into that a little later with the Olympics. I do have some plays for that a little later on. But for now, let's get into UFC Vegas 32. Joe, before we get into that, any Bellator PFL this week?
No,
or
we got no Bellator or PFL or one. That's gonna resume next week. So I can quickly mention that we got a full combat sports next weekend because we got ONE FC's Battleground. That's Friday, July 30th for the strawweight Muay Thai World Championship, and Bellator
Nice.
263, which will be Saturday, July 31st, headlined by Patricio Pitbull defending his featherweight world championship against undefeated AJ McKee. So I'm pretty hyped to see that because I got Patricio on my pound for pound list.
Oh yeah.
So
With
yeah.
this UFC Vegas 32 early start, prelim starting
4,
at 4 and main card starting
7.
at 7. Yeah.
that's right.
You were telling me before we started recording, you touched everything. So you want to start us off in the prelims?
Yeah, I can go real quick through the prelims for you guys, and then feel free to jump in whenever there's a fight that
Yeah.
you like or
I
you
got some
see or you
plays
got
as well.
leans or whatever it is. I'll real quickly go over 3 fights that were scrapped because we had the co-main event between Aspen Ladd and Macy Chiasson scrapped, and we had other bouts like Trevin Jones versus Tony Kelly and Shamil Abdur-Kimov versus Chris Dawkins, the Philadelphia police officer we like. That fight has also been pulled. So 3 total fights on this card has been pulled. Unfortunately, I think some due to COVID, some due to injury, but they don't take in consideration that. Dylan, take it away.
It takes all of us.
It certainly does.
Now with the new Delta strain, forget about it.
Yeah, it's certainly going to take all of us. So this is UFC Vegas 32, also known as UFC on ESPN 27. We got the return of TJ Dillashaw on this card, taking on a former teammate, Corey Sandhagen. So I'll go in the first fight of the prelims. I got Hannah Goldie taking on Diana Belbita. And sometimes I shy away from touching the first fight of the card because it's like, well, I lost the first fight, so now my night's ruined. But I'm pretty confident because Hannah Goldie is a pretty good fighter. She has good grappling, and I think her striking will stand up against Belbita, who's actually prefer the striking and stand up. So I'll just take the fact that this could get nitty and gritty, go down to the ground, and I'll take Goldie via decision at plus 145. You're going to see all my odds here are relatively close, just slightly above money line. They're going to be right above plus 100. You'll see one, though, that is particularly different than the rest of them. So I got another one, Elise Reed taking on Ciara Eubanks. And Elise Reed, I mean, she fights out of actually Clifton, man, Carnicella MMA, and a lot of people are thinking that she can get the job done. And I hate fading New Jersey people, but Ciara Eubanks has been in the game for a while, and she's Sarge for a reason. That's her nickname. So she's Sarge in charge, and I have a hard time going against Miss Eubanks. So I think Eubanks will take this one via decision at plus 135. Let's see if Elise Reed could steal something from here, because that'll be a pleasant surprise if she does.
She looks like one of the biggest underdogs on the card.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it was a minus 300 something for Eubanks.
Yeah, she's minus 300. No, minus 360.
Yeah, it's keep rising. So more money's going in her way. Normally we'd fade that, but hey, I'm gonna take a favorite on the early, prelims. You kind of ride with the favorites because, Vegas kind of knows something there.
Yeah.
So the next fight after that, yeah, exactly. They're on top of that. That's damn right. And then we go into the next fight here. Here's where I'm going to be riding with the Jersey Cat because we got Andre Ewell taking on our guy out of Tiger Showman's, Julio Arce. You know, our brother Mike Trezano, he had that dub there. We're looking for another dub in that camp here. Julio Arce, man, I just think he's so versatile. And Colombia is also celebrating their Independence Day, so he's got a fight not too far off of that. You know, I think everything's going in the favor for this man, and I think at 31, he's got the future bright ahead of him. So I'll be taking him also via decision. So Arce via decision at plus 130. I think that's one of the locks of the evening.
I like that one.
All right. So here's a cool, interesting fight. It's Ian Heinisch against Nasruddin Imavov. I didn't have a particular side in this one because Nasruddin could be a finisher, and Ian Heinisch is like a tank. The dude doesn't get finished, but I feel like there will be one. I just don't know where to lean. So what I'm doing is that on the FanDuel, I was able to find fight will not go to distance at plus 126 because I couldn't find odds for the rounds over under 2.5 or 1.5 or anything like that. But I feel like there will be a finish on either side. Now, Ian Heinisch could get like a submission victory here, or Nasruddin being one of the more, stand-up oriented guys, he can get a finish on the feet. So I like the fight will not go to distance, at plus 126. And
or if I watch Joe, injury.
Yeah, every time you watch. It's funny because it's actually true. You said that like 2 pay-per-views in before they actually made note of it. It's all the pay-per-views this year that there's been this gruesome injury, and you've seen every single one of them. So you've called it.
I started watching UFC this year.
Yeah. Hey, it's not just coincidence at that point. So we got 2 more fights in the prelims here because we got Brendan Allen taking on Puna Soriano, and I think the public right here is riding with Puna Soriano. The dude's undefeated at 8-0, but I think Brendan Allen's pretty versatile. He has good stand-up and his grappling. I think he might be even a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the Allen double chance via submission or decision at plus 115 because if Puna gets a little tired with his stand-up, we throwing bombs because that's what he's good at. He's good at throwing haymakers and landing them and not getting the guy out of there. If he doesn't get that in the first, second round, he could see him get tired. And we could see the late round finish from Allen, whether it be the submission. I don't necessarily think that the striking can get it done because Puna's a tough guy, but I do like the double chance getting the submission or the decision, which is points, at plus 115. So that's the co-main.
Taking the dog, huh?
Yeah, I think he's the dog here, but those odds don't make you think otherwise. This actually might be a pick'em fight out of any fight on the card.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah,
so
very
right
close.
now, Pona's minus 112 versus Brendan Allen's minus 104.
Oh yeah, so there you go. That's as close as it can be. And that was the co-main of the prelims. And we'll go right now into the main event of the preliminary fight, which we got another Jersey Cat, Mickey Gall, taking on Jordan Williams. And Dylan, I know you have a little something for this one, but I'm going to take the opposite of what I took before, which was the fight will not go to distance. And this one, I think the fight will go to distance. I was leaning Mickey Gall, but looking at Jordan Williams, I think the dude's a tough fighter. So I just have confidence in that these 2 tough guys will be able to stick it out, and we'll get to a judge's scorecard. So fight will go to distance at plus 106.
Yeah, I got a fight on this one. Usually I'm like you, I take the New Jersey native, but Mickey Gall hasn't fought in a year, and now he's going up against an up-and-coming fighter like Jordan Williams. I don't think this is a good matchup for Gall. I think Williams is having to continue to train and get better. He just moved up to Colorado to work at Factory X, so working in elevation is going to help him. So, and I think with Williams having to continue to train and get better after losing his first 2 times in a contender series will ultimately benefit him. He's good on the ground, and now going down a weight class might help him. I think, like I said, move to Colorado will help him in elevation. I think that with Williams, he might catch Gall with something. So I'll take Williams double chance to win by submission or points at plus 150. Maybe Gall's tough enough to take it the length of the fight, but I trust Williams more in this spot.
Mickey Gall is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He got his rather early, so the submission game might be head more to his side, but I like what you're thinking there, taking a double chance. And on top of that, you said the weight. Jordan Williams might be the bigger guy. But I got 2 things for you. One, Mickey Gall is bringing in Matt the Immortal Brown to corner his fight. And
wow.
Mickey, every time he comes out to fight, his theme song hits. Mickey, you're so fine. You're so
fine.
fine. Hey, Mickey. So that's one of the classic walkout songs there. You got to love Mickey Gall in that one. So I had a hard time going against him, but I see what you see there in that one. So anything else in the prelims? Did you guys like where I was leaning and stuff? Kind of give some insights. And, you were seeing where I was going because, like, everything's just slightly above, being favorited. It's like plus 100, plus 115. It's not too far
plus
off.
Money.
You're getting plus money. We love plus money. So we'll go right into the main card here. we got the first fight, which got moved from the prelims into the main card, which is Adrian Yanez versus Randy Costa, which I think for this whole one, everyone's isolated the main event. I think this could be contender of fight of the night. Because if Adrian Yanez, who I'm leaning to get a knockout or TKO here at plus 105, if he can't really close the show, I think we're going to get fight of the night between these two. Because Randy Costa finishes himself. These guys can bang. I think you're going to have a stand-up war. I think they could both grapple pretty well, but I think they're going to avoid it. They're going to want to showcase their finishing ability in terms of the stand-up. But I'm more confident in the Mexican striker, Adrian Yanez, because I think he's just well-versed in everything. Randy Costa kind of throws caution to the wind to get his finishes, whereas Adrian Yanez is more educated and technical. So I'll tend to go with that. Yanez right now via KO TKO is plus 105, and that's where I'm sticking.
Attaboy. I'm not touching this one. I'm going to start with the Miranda Maverick fight,
which is next. And man, Miranda Maverick, who I'm pretty sure is studying still for a PhD at 23 years old, going against, and a fighter full time, going against Macy, the future Barber, who I think has maybe, gotten a little too big for her britches, because Miranda Maverick's a handful. And I'm liking Miranda Maverick via decision at plus 110. I think she actually might now be the favorite in terms of the money line. But a lot of people are riding Macy Barber, and I can see why. She labeled herself the future, but I don't think, people are really seeing that she's fighting someone who's similar in style, similar in age, and may actually be a better grappler. So I think Miranda Maverick is a better fighter, and I think she'll get the decision, which is at plus 110. Taking Miranda Maverick.
You know what they say, Joe. Great minds think alike.
That's right.
I think it's going to be a very interesting fight between two women looking up to move in the rankings. Barber is trying to get back in the win column, while Maverick is trying to extend her streak and crack the top 10. I got to go with the hotter fighter, not look-wise. But Maverick is on a 7-fight win streak, and she doesn't look to be slowing down. She wants to make a name for herself and could do exactly that with the win Saturday night. I'm looking for her to push the tempo, control the fight on her feet and on the ground. I don't know if she knocks Barber out, since she only has one KO in her career. I think Barber will come out tough and try to take it the distance. But I got to side with you. I got to go Maverick to win by points at plus 110.
Yep. I like that. I think that's a pretty safe bet. What you got, Elvis?
I
love to hear it.
Slight lean. I'm going to take Maverick. Double chance by submission or points at minus 140.
Nice. That's not too far off.
Yeah, just, I feel like the opponent's going to come out striking, and I think she's going to end up getting choked out or something.
Ooh, I like that.
On her money line, if you don't want to take double chance and just take her money line, it's minus 148. So you lay 8 more.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to ask, is how far off is the money line? Because at that point, maybe Chase money line. But
yeah, that's why you say.
Yeah, but now you got me thinking. Maybe want to look at a submission, because a submission is definitely a big plus
maybe
money.
The TKO and submission is plus 500. I was leaning submission, but that plus 500 a little scary.
Yeah, it's hard to get finishes at 115. That's why it was such a surprise when we saw Rose finish Wang Zhe Li. In that fight, because it's like yeah, you don't see that. You don't see finishes at that weight class. So, it would be interesting to see Maverick get a finish, because if she gets a finish, I think she's guaranteed a top 10 opponent next.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Good call.
So let's go into what is now one of the fights at the top 3. We got a fan favorite, Danger Darren Elkins, taking on Derek Minner. And I got a surprise for you guys, because one of the only losses that Elkins has had in his career has been first-round submissions. And Derek Minner has a vicious guillotine choke in the first round. When the guys are dry, they're not really wet, they haven't gotten a sweat, they're easy to get a hold of. And I think Derek Minner, with Darren Elkins wrestling, comes in hard. He just goes for the neck, clamps down on one of the legs, maybe even gets him in a guard, and closes the show with a first-round submission for Derek Minner at plus 1,000. I'm calling the submission, and I'm calling the round. So that's Derek Minner, first-round submission, plus 1,000.
Holy shit.
I love the energy.
That's great. It's not Minor. It's what?
It's Derek Minner, yeah.
Minner, thank you.
He's all spelled weird.
Yeah, it is. 22 submissions in his career. It's ridiculous. I think it's going to be a very entertaining fight between two fighters looking to stay hot. Minner has aggressive. I keep fucking up the
You're
name,
fine,
man.
but yeah, Elkins, you're right. He always puts on a show, man. That's what concerns me a little bit.
Minner, he's aggressive attacking style, which might help him get the submission going to what you were saying. I usually go with the more experienced fighter, but if you add up all Miner's fights, he's a seasoned vet just like Elkins.
Just not in the UFC.
Yeah, just not in the UFC. Exactly. I don't like the price on the money line for Minor, so I'm going to go double chance Minor to win by submission or points at plus 170. Minor, he's a better grappler, and I think he might catch Elkins with something, or Elkins will come out tough and try to take it the distance.
I think Elkins gets stronger as the fight goes on. So if Elkins does find a way to finish it, it will be a late round stoppage like TK. He can get a TKO. He's also well versed in his grappling. I think he's at an alpha male, so he's out there in the West Coast. So Derek Elkins, man, like I said, and you said, always puts on a great fight. So this could be interesting.
I'm glad we're on the same side.
Yeah, I think this is looking good for us because now I think what they're keeping as what will be the co-main event is the guy I mentioned to begin with. Kyler Phillips is taking on Rulian Paiva. And I think the Matrix, man, Kyler Phillips is one of the weight classes' future. This dude is just unbelievable. I think he has great striking, and if you see how educated he is on the ground, I think it goes to show. But the fact is, I was kind of going with back-to-back first-round submissions, and I didn't feel comfortable with that because I was going with Minner with the first round, and I was going to say, you know what, Kyler Phillips can also get a first-round submission here. But I forget who he's fighting. Rulian Paiva is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, so the likelihood of him getting caught in the first round isn't really there. Maybe I'm here to eat my words later, and I'll see you on Monday if I'm eating my words or not. But I'll be taking Phillips via decision at plus 100. He's the moneyline favorite, and I think that, you know, he could easily go ahead and get a submission victory. But against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I think the difficulty level gets higher and higher and harder and harder. So I just feel comfortable taking Kyler Phillips, the Matrix, via decision at plus 100. What you got?
Not one, not two, but 3 fights of the same. I got to go with Kyler Phillips to win by points at plus 100 too. I'm going to go with the hotter fighter, which is Phillips. He's a better striker than
Rulian Paiva. You said it right.
Paiva. And I think with a win tomorrow night, he has another top 15 or top 10 opponent next. He's a huge favorite, so I don't want to touch the money line. I think Paiva is tough enough to take it the full length of the fight. I don't think he has the tools to beat Phillips, though. So I'm going to go with Kyler Phillips to win by points at plus 100.
Love it. I love what I'm hearing out of you guys, man. Any leans for you, Elvis, before we get into the main event here?
I'll be honest. I was going to lean Paiva on the upset.
Ooh, I like to hear it, though. I love it.
I'm going to be honest, Joe. You know what threw me back a little bit? I don't understand why he don't have a middle name. Everybody has a middle name in UFC.
Oh, like,
he don't have like a nickname.
Yeah,
he don't have
nickname.
one.
That's right.
So,
it makes you want to fade him. I feel it. I feel
you want
it.
to fade him now. I was looking at his stats. I'm like, he's not as bad as.
No, people are making him out to be.
I understand why he's a heavy underdog like that.
People love Phillips.
Yo, the more you hear us talk on our analysis on UFC, I feel like the more happy you get because we're like, wow, we're getting good at it.
Yeah, I love it, man. That was a great call because you're right, man. Paiva is a tough dude. You'll be there.
Coming.
So we'll go right into the main event, guys. And you know who it's against, man. Former teammates here, Corey Sandhagen taking on TJ Dillashaw. And, you know, I'll let you guys take it away because I want to hear what you guys have to offer in this main event.
Wow. Elvis, I know you said you didn't have anything, but this is the main event.
Here we go.
We've been waiting 2 years for this fight. You have to pick someone.
All right.
Not a lean.
Not a lean.
All right. I'm going to go on my action then.
All right.
Oh. I'm going to fix it right now with y'all.
I love
I'm
it.
not even going to say it.
So I'll go first.
Go
then.
first.
I think this is going to be an instant classic. Sandhagen has rebounded well after losing to Eye-Poke Sterling, winning his next 2 fights to put him right in contention for the belt again. I mean, Dillashaw, he was on an all-time high in 2009, defending his belt against Garbrandt, then losing to Triple C, and then he got the 2-year ban for testing positive for EPO. Is that a performance?
That's the same thing that Lance Armstrong did, which is basically having your blood taken out, have it frozen, and injected back into you. It gives you a higher boost of adrenaline and more stamina.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah. But that's what it is. They both got popped for that. So
yeah, I think this. I think this is going to be a bar burner fight tomorrow. As much as people don't like TJ, I think he's going to come out into this fight prepared, focused, and ready to win. He's light, super fast, and an excellent wrestler. He doesn't want this positive test to define his legacy. He wants to go out on top and a winner. And if he does win and go on to win the belt, he'll be a 3-time champ, and no one can dispute that. I got to go with my boy TJ Dillashaw at plus 164 on the money line.
Oh, my God. Not
I don't think
one,
Corey
not
Sandhagen,
two, not 3, But
Four?
four.
Oh no!
Wow.
No.
Elvis, I'll let you get the
way.
last laugh on this because Dylan, man, I could have said it better myself. Everything you explained there makes me want to go with TJ Dillashaw. The fact that they were teammates in the prior, and TJ Dillashaw has even admitted that, in training, Corey Sandhagen used to get the best of him. So the fact is he's ready and willing to admit that shows that I think he's mentally mature for this fight. If he wasn't admitting that, and I think there's immaturity or signs of it there. But, man, the fact that he's had the 2 years to prepare, and I think there's also a trend with his record. Every time you see, before he's got to the title fight, he's lost a fight and won the next four. Lost a fight and won the next four, and lost a fight, which the last one was against Triple C, which you mentioned. So maybe he gets on a 4-fight tear here, and we could see him fight for a title. So that's why I'm agreeing with you and taking TJ Dillashaw money line at plus 160.
Elvis.
Did y'all take Miranda Maverick?
We all did, I think.
Yeah, we all did.
So not one,
But two.
I'll be taking TJ as well at plus money. You gotta love it. You gotta go for the underdogs in moments like this. I just like the story.
Great.
Yeah, got me kind of hyped listening to you guys. So you know what? I'm gonna be roll with TJ at plus 157.
Joe. I also have a round prop. I want to hear. I want to tell you what I think, and I want to hear what you.
Absolutely,
think.
tell me.
I like over 2.5 rounds in this fight. I think early on, both fighters are going to try and feel each other out and see what the other's trying to do. If Dillashaw goes and tries to take Sandhagen down, that's going to slow Sandhagen down and prolong the fight. The play's at plus 100, so I kind of found a little value there for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if the fight went the distance. In Dillashaw's last 11 fights, 8 have gone the distance.
I love it. I love everything you're saying because that's what I have on my verdict picks. I have TJ Dillashaw winning via decision. I just like the money line. I like the money line a lot, and that's the thing.
And it's going 5 rounds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going 5 because of the main event, and I think it will go the full 5. And I think if not the Adrian Yanez fight, I think this could very well be fight of the night. And people are saying fight of the year contender, and I agree.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I could say different is that the wrestling aspect of TJ Dillashaw might be better than Corey Sandhagen, but Corey Sandhagen I think is a better grappler. So I think TJ might want to avoid the grappling exchanges altogether, and I think his education on the feet may be where he wants to stay because he can keep him at the end of the jab. And granted, Corey's a little taller, but sometimes that doesn't matter. If you can get in on the jab and you can work his footwork, because TJ Dillashaw has world-renowned footwork, I think that he could just, beat him to the punch. It's just a metaphor. Literally, he can literally beat him to the punch. So I like the fight going the full distance. I think we get a full display of mixed martial arts with what we explained, the grappling, and, of course, the stand-up. Being that they're former teammates, I think they're going to want to kind of put some leather on one another.
I want to make a clarification. You're taking TJ money line, not 5
yeah, exactly.
points.
Like I said, on the betting aspect, I'm taking TJ money line because it's so good at plus 160. But, when I post my verdict picks, I always have specifics because verdict requires that. And I have TJ winning via decision. If you want to look at TJ winning via decision, that's got to be like plus 200 or something.
Get this, plus 600.
Oh, my goodness. So that's got to mean that people are probably expecting a finish in this one. I don't see it, man. I think
I don't either.
Yeah, I think you could go decision either way, but I'm just confident in the 2-year layoff, that knockout that Corey Sandhagen against Frankie Edgar, not necessarily that it was a fluke, but I think it was just a stroke of genius that you caught Frankie at the right time. That fight was going to
I do too.
That was going to go the distance if that knee didn't strike. So that's what it is. That 8 out of the last 10 fights with TJ Dillashaw, I think you could look at Corey Sandhagen in his last 5 fights. I think the majority of them also went to decision. So I think we're pretty safe with the decision going on in this one.
Holy shit. I think we're in for a fucking great card tomorrow night.
Let's go.
Starting early. Thank you, boys, for those picks. Hopefully we stay hot. So, Joe, let's go to the diamond. Why don't you start us off on the diamond with your picks? What do you got?
Absolutely, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want, I can go over stuff that I like a lot, but I could go through it. I could just go through it real quick.
Yeah, go through it, and then if we have anything, we'll interrupt.
Absolutely.
Not interrupt, but we'll just.
So on the diamond we go. Yeah, man. I'm liking what I'm seeing. That's why I had to touch the whole board because at late night, you get a little adventurous. I want to see what I got. I like the pictures that we're matching up. So 7:05, Atlanta at Philadelphia. Man, I'm just going to be having a fade Atlanta for the rest of the season. Losing Acuna is just no fun, man. I know they have a lot of other stars around them, and their pitching can kind of hold up, especially at the home, but they're not. They're on the road against Philly. So I'll be taking Philly money line minus 135 full game.
And Zach Wheeler's been dominant
And
for
exactly,
Philly.
that's right.
That's a good point. I don't have a play on this game. Do you have a play, Elvis?
No, but I understand why you leaning with Philly.
Yeah, they're the better
Especially
team
Willie
right
on
now.
the mound. But Atlanta hit for me the other day, so
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can find them here and there. That's for sure. I think,
Yeah,
especially if you get some plus money on them, it might be worth it. So the next 7:05 game, Washington's taking on Baltimore. They're going to travel over to Oriole there, and I like the over 9.5. Both pitchers have above like a 5-something ERA. So poor pitching that we're going to get on display here. It's not like Scherzer's on the mound or anything. And yeah, I like the over 9.5 in the full game at -110 because I think you're going to get some runs in that ballpark.
good call, Joe. Because as of right now, the over under is 10.5.
Oh,
Oh.
so it's going into your favor.
full
And I'll
run.
be honest, I got to play for this game. I'll be taking the Nationals at -134 on the money line. I'll be honest.
Wow.
It's fade Javier Lopez.
Jorge
Lopez the whole season. It's just fade him. So
Yeah.
nothing against the kid.
No, he's
but
just terrible.
You're just not it.
That's right.
I'm gonna take Nationals first 5 money line at -130. Patrick Corbin's on the bump for the
That's
Nationals,
right.
while Jorge Lopez is going for the Orioles. As bad as Corbin has been on the road for the Nationals, there's just no way I could back Jorge Lopez. He's been even worse. 2-12,
Oof.
6.04 ERA. You know what he leads the league in? Losses.
Wow, I was going to
Batters
say.
are hitting, yeah. Batters are hitting 299 off him, and that's perfect for the Nationals because they lead the National League in batting average. I think the Nationals will get to Mr. Lopez early, and I just need them to lead after the first 5 innings.
That's
so I have more faith in Corbin than Lopez. So I'll take Nationals first 5 money line -130.
Let's say Corbin is definitely the better pitcher, but his ERA this year isn't reflecting it. But that's definitely a smart choice by you
he's
guys.
been streaky.
That's why. And the next matchup, 7:10, we got the New York Yankees on the road against the Boston Red Sox. And I know where you're going to be going with this, but I like the over 8.5 runs at -105. Both teams have been scoring a lot of runs and have hit the over. I'm pretty sure if you combine them, about 6-7 out of the last 10 games between the two of them. So I'm going to be sticking with the over in this one because both teams can score runs, especially if they hop on the pitching early. The bullpens are just going to kind of let it go.
Elvis.
I'll be rolling with the Red Sox tonight.
That's
Against
right.
Jericho. Fuck them. You know how it is. -119 on the money line. My man Kiki stepped up last night.
Wow.
Tied the
what a
game.
hit.
I was not panicking, but I was talking to Joe before the show. I was gonna hit him what he did last week to the Mets. They were +488 in the bottom of the 8th, and I was gonna take them live and the over, which was 3.5.
Wow.
I didn't end up doing it, but I should have. It would have been at least the parlay would have
Or
been plus
parlayed it,
1,000.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have been amazing, but I'll be rolling with the Red Sox again.
Fading Garrett Cole.
Fade them.
Wow.
At the end of the day, we only
No
know
sticky
prices,
substances.
boys. Yeah,
He's a different player.
Honestly, his first start after the sticky substance,
He went crazy.
He went really. He had a good
He had a good outing. The first one though was a rough time to kind of get used to without without it.
Sticky stuff.
It's hard to not cheat now.
Yeah,
This game, we'll go back to normal.
yeah.
At Fenway.
At Fenway, crowd will be there.
That's right.
I'll
A
be
couple
honest,
over
he's
the
just
Green
not like
Monster, Anything from you, Dylan, in this game?
No, I lean as much as I said I would fade the Yankees. I actually like the Yankees in this spot. It's not in a play, but I would lean the Yankees, especially since you're getting plus money with Garrett Cole on the mound. Yeah, that's just my
But
take.
that's what it is.
Garrett
Everyone's
Cole.
entitled to their take.
Yeah.
So we're into the next 7-10 game. We got a couple 7-10 games tonight. San Diego's on the road against Miami. And, boy, I got a surprise for you. I'm going to be taking a plus money here and taking Miami money line, a plus 105.
Zach
Wow.
Thompson, huh?
Yeah. I was going to say,
Wow.
Joe Musgrove on the mound has actually been, besides what was it, a no-hitter or was it a perfect game? I can't remember.
It was after the no-hitter. He's been bad.
He's been bad, exactly. So I just feel like there might be a thought out on Joe Musgrove as being like a kind of a good pitcher. Not saying that he's not a good pitcher, but I just think that the expectations are way over where he's been performing. So I'm going to take them going right across the country. Miami's been there at home, and I'm going to take money line at Miami plus 105.
That's a good play. Elvis, anything for you on this game?
Nah, not at all.
Not at
Yeah,
all.
no
All right.
lean for me either. Yeah, I'm staying away from
That's
it.
right. St. Louis going on the road against Cincinnati in another 7-10 game. And I like plus money as St. Louis is taking. They're at plus 143, and I think people are riding Cincinnati because they've been hitting so well, and it carried over right from the All-Star break. But St. Louis just hasn't been losing games, so I don't know why people are really going against it, or why the fact that the money line's so heavy on Cincinnati. So I just like the plus money St. Louis is getting here at plus 143. I think it's kind of
I think it's because Miley's on the mound.
yeah,
for the
Wade
Reds.
Miley has been performing, but maybe there's always one. There's always one game,
Yeah.
so this may be the one. Let's hope.
Oh, any play for you on this game, Elvis?
I'll lean the Reds.
Oh, by the way, the other day you didn't take Kyle Hendricks. He pitched the other game and he won.
I know.
I was thinking I was laying
That's
in
your
bed
boy.
watching- Yeah, and
Bro,
I was like,
I
did
slipped
Elvis
up
take
that
him?
day. I slipped up. You know, that's my boy. I fuck with Kyle Hendricks. I think his
sounds
record
good.
now is 12-4.
Sounds good.
It's only right light in Chicago.
Dude, I'm pretty sure this was a weird one because the Mets are kind of favorited. They're favored in this matchup against Toronto, and Toronto's a good ball club. So
We're
I
better.
found I found a sneaky little play for you. What I did is I found the Mets in the first 5 getting a half a run. Even though it's
Nice.
at minus 159, I feel comfortable in taking that because they were giving up 1.5 in the full game. So I said, you know what? Let's take the half run in the first 5. Maybe our starting pitcher can help us out, and we could, kind of get some runs on the board. And even if not, if it's a tie ball game, we still got the half a run. So
Yeah, you still win.
that's right.
I think we should be favored in this game. Steven Matz is
That's who
shaky.
we're seeing. Thank you
You're
for
gonna
saying that. We're seeing Mats again,
You're
right?
either gonna get good Steven Matz, or you're gonna get bad Steven Matz, and we're home.
Yep.
Steven Matz gives up a lot of hard contact. You and I know that from watching Steven Matz. And this kid, Trevor McGee, he's not the best, but he's all right. He holds his own. I think our offense is getting healthy, even though our Lindor is out. But we're getting a lot of guys back. Nimmo, J.D. Davis, Pete Alonso, Dominic Smith. They're all heating up with their bats. I feel like I'm going into a play right now, but I have no play because the last couple times I've touched the Mets on the pod,
We've lost.
actually fucked me. But we are home, and we have the best home record and best home ERA at home.
So let's do it.
Our bullpen's good. I think we should be favored.
Hey, it's bench
That's-
mob. It's all those pitchers that are stepping up, all the players that are stepping up from off the bench. What you got?
I got Toronto money line.
Ah!
At plus 100.
Wow.
Gotta love it.
I'll say
Gotta
that's
love-
from Dylan going ahead and leading the Yanks before. That's why.
that's what you get, Dill.
Yeah.
You're at home. You're at home. You forgetting. Toronto ain't that far away. Yeah, it's a couple hours.
Little
but
North
Buffalo
ride,
ain't too
yeah.
far now.
Fuck them and Buffalo. I don't give a fuck.
Buffalo should not have let him come. Should be like, stay in Canada.
COVID.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to fade the Mets tonight,
All right.
especially Dylan on Monday. He faded the Red Sox.
So give him a little taste of his own medicine. I
Yeah.
like that.
That's fine.
And the
Yeah, I
final 7-10 game, you got Tampa Bay going on the road to take on what will be now known as the Cleveland Guardians.
Before you get into that, the Guardians, don't they look like one of the Yahoo fantasy little icons that you could pick on your little sport? What the fuck? I like the name, but that sounds like an XFL team, doesn't it?
Indians,
The
Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, the whole name origin is from their bridge. I think the main bridge in Cleveland area, greater Cleveland area, has the Angel of Guardian. I can't get the specifics on it, but that's where the name. There's some historic thing from there.
Some spoiled silver spoon grandchild picked that.
Yeah.
Think?
No, so
Honestly, the Cleveland baseball team sounds better.
The Cleveland
that.
Browns. They should have just named them Cleveland Browns.
or the Brownies.
The Brownies.
I always say that. I
The
love
Brownies.
the Brownies.
Brownies, man.
I like that name,
So-
but I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
but I just
it's funny
that.
because you know how I've been like, oh man, Cleveland, man, they're a good baseball team. I'm going against that, and I'm taking Tampa Bay minus the 1.5 at plus 145. Them giving that half, that 1.5 is that big of plus money. I'm taking it because I think Tampa Bay, if they get ahead, they're gonna stay ahead. So there's gonna be no walk-offs in this game.
Yeah, I do like the Indians. I don't know if Flemington is that good. This is not a play, but I do lean like Indians first 5 getting a plus a half a run. Plecek's he's been pretty decent this year.
Yeah.
So, and they're at home. I always like to.
I'll say
take the home
progressive.
puppy.
It's still progressive field, right? I always like that ballpark. So
Yeah, pretty cool ballpark.
yeah, it's
yeah.
underrated, that's for sure. Then here we go. Now we're hitting the 8:00 games. 8:10. Los Angeles Angels going on the road against what I think is an overrated ballpark in Minnesota. Minnesota, A. I like the
Hey.
under 5.5 in the first 5 at minus 115. I think both teams will need a little bit to get some runs on the board. So I feel comfortable in that under 5.5 because in the next game, it's a run lower. So I feel safe with Texas at Houston going over the 4.5 in the first 5 at minus 123. So I just think there's a disparity of the runs between those two games, and I think you're going to get the exact opposite there. So that's why I was comfortable in that.
Any play on those two games?
I would lean Houston, but I'm gonna be honest, they're just heavily favored on the money line. So
Yeah.
Would you take a stab at the run line?
minus 110 was pitching.
Or
Allard.
Rozier?
Yeah,
I
Jake
always look
Odorizzi.
I always look at opponent's pitches first.
Oh yeah, Allard. He's a
Allard, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sprinkle some. Minus 110.
actually minus 1.5.
So, and here's a game that another surprise for you guys. You know, I said I'm not touching anything the Milwaukee Brewers, but Chicago White Sox are taking on there, and I'm going to be taking a player prop. Lucas Giolito's on the mound, and I got him over 7.5 Ks at minus 108. The dude just gets Ks. His delivery is like similar to your boy, Chris Sale. It's funny, he used to play for the White Sox, Chris Sale, but that sidearm delivery, I think, is just hard for pitchers to pick up, hard for hitters to pick up on. And man, he's one of the best pitchers in the game, Lucas Giolito. So over 7.5 games seems like a lock at minus 108.
Yeah. On the road though, might be a little tough.
Yeah, definitely. That's a hitter's ballpark as well. So
Any lean for you or any play on this game?
I'll leave with Peralta. I'll be honest. No
Alright.
official play, but
Yeah.
it's been
Smart.
hard to bet Peralta all season.
here in the next game, man, I've been taking Detroit and they've been hitting, and right now they're plus money. So you got KC as a favorite, and I was gonna think of maybe calling like a home run on both sides of the ball, but my official play is Detroit money line at plus 110 because I think they can get it done, and they are about a 6-7 game win streak right now, so they're hot, and I think you can do it.
Yeah, that is my second official play for me. I'm going to take Tigers first 5, getting a plus a half a run at minus 128. Willie Peralta is going for the Tigers, and Chris with a K, Bubich, is on the mound for the Royals. Tigers have won 9 straight at home.
9.
Yeah, at home, but they're on the road, but they've been playing amazing to start the second half of the season. Jonathan Scope has been on fire. He's batting .330 this month, and with Peralta on the mound, he ended up losing his first start against the Angels, but after that, he's been red hot. He's 3-1 with a 1.64 ERA. He's been very good, and I can't say the same with Bubich. He's given up 11 runs in the last 3 starts, and their bullpen hasn't been able to help him either. And that's why I just trust the bats of the Tigers and the pitching of Peralta. I think they're gonna have a good game, and I'll just say, honestly, I think they're a live dog as well. I'll even take them on the money line again plus money. I think they're the better team right now. Take the Tigers first 5 plus a half at minus 128, and I'll even take the Tigers full game plus 100.
Dude, that's not bad at all. Nice, plus money. Yeah, Peralta, is he a 3-1? He's at like a 1.7 ERA, something like that. He's killing it this year. Yeah. That's right. That's the thing. They're like wildly inconsistent, whereas like it goes with the momentum of the evening. Like if their pitching's on, their pitching's gonna be on. But if their hitting's off, it'll be off. But the absolute opposite. If the hitting's on, man, they're gonna score like 13 runs to the Tigers. And if not, then you know how it is. So let's go to one of the only 9 o'clock games, 9:45. Pittsburgh's going all the way out to San Fran. And one of the best first 5 teams still are San Fran, given a half run at minus 125 in the first 5. I just feel confident in that. Though Pittsburgh has been playing good ball, they've been still losing. You know, they've been keeping it close with most good teams in the league, but they wind up losing. So it's just like bad teams know how to lose and good teams know how to win. So it's just one of those. Yeah. That's it. I like that. Then they got 2 10 o'clock games, 10-10. Oakland's going to Seattle. That's a late night. And I like Oakland on the road here. Money line is -115. I think they got both their aces, right? Well, I know Seattle's got, what's his name? Kikuchi, yes. He's their ace, man. So the thing is that at the left side of the plate that he's throwing, that he gives up a lot of homers. He gives a lot of hard contact. So for being their ace, I don't think you should have a lot of confidence in that ball team. So let's get the better ball club winning the full game. Oakland money line at -115. Yes, and he's what, their second starter? Wow. It's a better pitcher. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. There's one last game, and it's the Dodgers taking on Colorado, and Dodgers are home. I think it's just smart to give the 1.5 at -155 because their money line is just so heavy. So I think it's he's 0-4 or 4-1, 4-0. Wow. Big money. Wow. Don't doubt it. Exactly. Sometimes that's sports. The least expected thing is the one that's going to happen. So, I'll say dissolve that Big 12. We might not have one exactly. Honestly, I'm gonna steal a little wordage from our man Colin Cowherd because I was listening to his take on it, and I just think, yeah, and shout out Colin, but I think he fit that mold for Texas perfectly. That they're not an SEC like team, like they fit the Pac-12 a lot better. You know, they're glamorous. They're in Austin. A lot of Californians move from Cali to Austin, not to anywhere else, not Dallas. No, they Austin. So the fact of the matter is that Texas going to SEC, they might just get drowned. They might just get under the tide. You know, it's like, yes, yes, and also I think they'll be able to recruit. But then again, recruiting is cutthroat in the SEC, and he even mentioned Colin that there's also like payments, like all the players are getting paid in the SEC. Like even now before it's legitimized, no, even now before it's been legitimized. Like before, that's what I mean by it being cutthroat is the fact that they would be like, here, buy your mom a house. You know, here's a car. Like, come join Alabama Crimson Tide. This is how we're gonna do it. So now Texas is gonna have to compete with that. The cutthroatness of the SEC. It's hot. It's rugged. It's just not the mold that Texas kind of fits. They're more boisterous. They're like Hollywood in a sense, being out there. So I think what Colin said was perfect. Fit them more in the Pac-12. But you know, once they go SEC, there's no going back. That's what they're gonna have to commit to. So that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. It'll be the most southern team in the Big Ten. Does it get done? How hard is the Big 12 going to push to keep these teams, you know? That's the thing we don't know because that conference is full of billionaires. You know that. there's money in throughout all these conferences. So it's going to be how much that the alumni and those people are going to want to put into keeping the teams, as well as the directors saying that, yeah, we want to fight to keep. We shouldn't lose the Big 12. It's one of the most historic ones, if not the most historic one, and so on and so forth. So I don't know what to expect. I think the news is relatively early, though. There's 36 days until college football. We're obviously going to have the Big 12 this year, and I think maybe going forward to next year. But after that, I think, we're going to have to wait and see. Oh! Heisman candidate. In the middle of the season. Yeah. Wow. Red River rivalry. At all. Wow. Yeah. I like that. Wow. Jimbo Fisher. Wow. My first one, I'm going to stick it to the South Carolina schools, and the first one I'm going to be talking about is Coastal Carolina. Right now, you got 10 wins I saw. Overs at minus 125, unders at plus 105. I always like plus money, but I got a little controversy here. Last season, it may have been a fluke season, man. The disappointment of the last game of the season and that dramatic bowl loss, it may leave a bad taste in their mouth. And Grayson McCall, being a freshman last year, he could very well have a sophomore slump this year. But they have 20 out of 22 stars returning on both sides of the ball. And the only team in the Sun Belt that could give them, issues are the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana, which they won't play until the final to decide who's going to be the champion of the Sun Belt. So I'm going to hit the over at minus 125 for Coastal Carolina because I think they come out strong. They're going to be playing Kansas, so that's a guaranteed win there, even though that's an out-of-conference. And we look at a harder matchup, and I think they can get it done. I think like you said, with Oklahoma, they could very well just be a push at that 10, but I think they're guaranteed to get the over because they will get 11 wins and then they go into their conference championship game, and that's where maybe they might, they could lose it. But hey, if they beat them, let's see them have a big bowl game this year. Culture shock. Iron Bowl. I was going to say out of the Sun Belt. That's right. Yeah. Give Bo Nix with that coach maybe one more year, you know? Wow. Wow. Oh man. We changed lives. Yeah. That's a tough schedule, yeah. They're Auburn. War Eagle. What's their mascot? An eagle or a tiger? I mean, come on now. But nah, man. I like that. I like that a lot. It's hard to play over there at Auburn. It's hard to play over there. They got a tough home stadium. That's for sure. Woo! The whole game. Man, what I'm doing is, like I said, I'm sticking to South Carolina. And here's what I got. Clemson taking over 11 and a half wins at plus 145. They have to go over 11 and a half games. This team has hit the over in every season since 2011. The huge difference, we know it all. The backfield having no Etienne, no Lawrence. I just believe their season is going to be decided in the first game against Georgia Bulldog. We got a glimpse of DJ Ugalele in last year's game against Notre Dame, and he can only definitely help the minus 4-point favorite Tigers in that game and their future going forward. I just think that if they get the hold of that Georgia Bulldog team, I think that could dictate where both their seasons are going to be going. And if Clemson does wind up getting that win, I think they can push it all. Like in the ACC, who are they going to see? Like who's going to be their toughest competition? You know what I mean? Is Notre Dame there even more? Notre Dame went back to independent, correct? So they don't have Notre Dame in the ACC any longer. So my thing is just like how Coastal can win out in their conference, then they have to worry about their bowl game. They have to worry about the playoff and then so on. So I think the 11 and a half is pretty much solid there at plus 145 too. I love plus money, so I had to take it. No, no, no. That was Clemson. No, I'm just saying that these two teams can easily hit their overs in their season with their conference, and then anything after that, their bowl game, the playoff, that can decide whether or not they push or, if they just go even more over. That's not happening yet. Yeah. Let's go. Wow. That's immense penalties right there. Wow. Takes all of us. Yeah. Mm. Oh, he just quit. And that's that. Yeah. Training camps. Yeah, real quick. Speaking of college football, my bad, didn't mean to cut you off, but New Jersey doesn't allow us to bet on any in-state teams. So out of state, being in South Carolina, I still can't bet on them. Doesn't matter. I want to talk about them. We got Rutgers, Scarlet Knights, baby, and their win totals at 4. This team's going to start the season 3-0. We're going to have a fun September with Rutgers until they go to the big house and take on Michigan. So I don't know if they could beat Michigan, there's your 4 wins right there. So I'm taking the over for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, man. There's no odds. Like I said, you can't bet it. But I think we're going to have a fun team. They improved already under Greg Schiano, Augie Hoffman, Nunzio Campanelli, all those coaches out there. Shout out to them. I think they're going to improve. They're going to have a lot of returning guys. They got a great recruiting class. And let's hope all is well for them. And I think let's chop it down. That's their little slogan. And let's see them get over 4 wins. I think you're going to have a better season from those guys. Dude, I love that. I went to a Rutgers Army game, and I tell you, the atmosphere in that game was electric, man. It was one of the best games I ever attended. Yeah. So let's go. I want to see wins from our guys. Oh.